The Z Fold 8 Ultra just launched, and half the cases already up on Amazon weren't actually built for it. Some are the exact same mold as last year's Z Fold 7 case with a new title slapped on, and some skip the hinge entirely. Trust the wrong one and you're betting a $2,000 hinge on a case that was never measured for it. So we're not ranking these by price. We're ranking them by how much confidence you can actually have in the hinge protection and the fit. From the premium Kevlar weave to the magnetic hinge protection, we're looking for real engineering and functional designs that don't compromise the fold. Worst to best, let's get into it. 5. Pitaka Caseless Feeling. Aramid Pitaka is a name you'll actually recognize if you've shopped for slim Aramid fiber cases before, and this one leans hard into that reputation. It's built from woven Aramid fiber at just 0.04 inches thick and 0.81 ounces, with a twill texture the listing describes as silky and fingerprint resistant, plus an embedded magnetic film that's compatible with wireless charging, and Pitaka's own MagEZ grip and MagEZ Car Mount Pro 2 accessories. Here's the catch, and it's a significant one given this whole list angle. This case does not include hinge protection. It's essentially a precision-fit back cover with raised camera edges, not a wraparound shield for the fold mechanism. Where this earns its spot on the list is honesty about what it's actually for. If you've handled a Pitaka case before, you know the Aramid fiber genuinely resists scratches better than plain plastic, and the slim profile keeps the phone feeling like the phone rather than a bulkier version of itself. This is the pick for someone who wants premium material and a caseless feel more than maximum coverage, and who's mainly worried about surface scratches from keys and counters rather than a hinge first drop. If hinge protection is the actual reason you clicked this video, and for most people buying a $2,100 foldable, it probably is. This isn't the case doing that job, no matter how nice the Aramid feels in hand. 4. BENKS ArmorGrid. Air Grand Combo. BENKS steps things up with an actual 3-piece system. A genuine Kevlar magnetic back case with a full coverage hinge cover, a matching Kevlar front frame, and a fitted screen protector, all sold together. The listing puts the back case and front frame at a combined 1.35 millimeters thick and 35 grams, which is notably light for something covering this much of the phone. And BENKS markets the Kevlar as the same fiber family used in aerospace and high-performance protective gear. Magnetic compatibility works with most circular accessories like chargers, grips, and stands, though the listing does flag that some rectangular wallets may not fit properly because of the camera layout. The catch is in how that hinge coverage is built. Rather than a rigid mechanical shell locking around the hinge, this is a fabric-based Kevlar wrap that flexes with the fold, which is exactly what keeps it this thin and light. For most people, this lands in a really practical spot. You get genuine, named hinge coverage, not an afterthought, plus a screen protector and front frame included in the box, all from a brand with an actual name and support line behind it, without the case feeling like you strapped armor plating onto a phone. If your goal is daily protection against scratches, bumps, and the occasional drop off a couch or desk, this covers that well. If you're specifically worried about a hard fall onto concrete, this isn't marketed with a certified military drop rating the way some rugged cases are, so temper your expectations there. 3. TORRAS Q3 VegSkin. TORRAS takes a completely different aesthetic route here, with an organic silicone vegan leather exterior instead of plastic or glass look backs, paired with a 360-degree spin magnetic stand built around a sandblasted aluminum mechanism. The case installs without adhesive, and the listing describes a hinge cover that moves with the phone through open. What makes this one worth a spot near the top of the list is the stand. A lot of cases on this list treat hinge protection and usability as separate problems, but the 360-degree spin stand here genuinely solves the propped-up viewing use case while still covering the hinge. And the leather-style finish is a real differentiator if you're tired of every case looking like translucent plastic or matte polycarbonate. If you're someone who's constantly on video calls or watching something propped on a desk, this is one of the more thoughtfully designed options here. If you want the reassurance of a published drop test number specifically, TORRAS's own other case line gives you that where this one doesn't. 2. Ringke Fusion Magnetic Clear. Ringke's Fusion Magnetic Clear takes a minimalist approach, a low-profile open hinge design meant to preserve the phone's original silhouette, paired with a hard PC back and a flexible TPU bumper, and built-in magnet support for MagSafe-style charging and accessories. The honest limitation here is what the listing doesn't say compared to a competitor we're about to cover. Spigen explicitly markets an anti-yellowing treatment on its clear cases for this same phone. Ringke's listing for this Fusion magnetic model doesn't call out an equivalent anti-yellowing feature. Our profile open hinge design itself, instead of wrapping the hinge in extra material that adds bulk, it's built to sit close to the phone's actual shape while still covering the vulnerable seam. That's a genuinely different philosophy than the bulkier hinge covers on some of the other options on this list. And it's backed by a company that's been making phone cases long enough to have a real reputation to protect. If you want your Fold 8 Ultra to still feel like a Fold 8 Ultra in your hand, rather than a bulkier version of itself, this is one of the strongest picks here. If maximum long-term clarity is non-negotiable for you, just go in aware of that one gap in the listing. 1. Spigen Ultra Hybrid Pro. MagFit. Spigen's Ultra Hybrid Pro MagFit is built around what the company calls SecuLink technology. SUS42OF heat-treated steel pins that interlock the front and rear panels together, which Spigen says is designed to avoid the loosening. Some two-piece foldable cases develop after months of repeated opening and closing. It also uses a DuraClear finish specifically marketed as anti-yellowing and UV resistant, and it's QI2 certified for fast wireless charging through the case via Spigen's MagFit magnet system. Here's the honest trade-off, and it comes straight from how Spigen itself describes its own Fold 8 Ultra lineup. This model uses what the company calls a flex magnetic hinge design, built for a slimmer profile rather than the fully enclosed mechanical hinge cover found on Spigen's own Tough Armor and Slim Armor Pro lines for the same phone. That's not a flaw so much as a deliberate design choice, and it's the reason this lands at number 2 instead of number 1. If slim profile and long-term clarity matter more to you than maximum hinge coverage, this is one of the best engineered options on the entire list. Full stop. The steel pin interlock system alone is a more sophisticated approach than anything else we've covered. But if you want the single most protected hinge on this phone regardless of bulk, Spigen's own rugged line is the better call, and our final pick takes a different route to that same peace of mind. If you're picking one up before launch day, go read the Q&A section on whichever listing you land on. Case fit issues on a phone, this new tend to show up there before they show up in a formal review. Drop a comment if you want a follow-up video once real drop test footage starts coming in for these.